Many of you may know this. You may not. It's not something that I go around bragging about. But I consider myself a human rights activist. All humans. Men, women, children, every race, every creed. I feel that in the United States of America, well, universally, but specifically, this tenet was solidified by the United States of America. The idea that within each citizen resides a spark of the divine. How beautiful is that? That we fought a bloody revolutionary war to establish a nation under the tenets, under the auspices that we are subject to no man, that our rights are inalienable, but they are given only by God, and that they can only be taken away by God, and that no man can rule over us. I just love that thought. It's beautiful. So I feel that it's my duty in having these strong beliefs, set of beliefs, to call out and to make others aware when there is an ideology that seeks to fundamentally transform and degrade that idea of freedom and equality that we fought all these years to establish in this country. And so today, I'm calling out specifically to women to tell you that there is an enemy in our midst. There is an enemy. Women, there is an enemy that we're facing, we are staring down, and it's the greatest enemy, I think, as women we have faced thus far. And the scary part about this particular enemy is that it has been masquerading as friend, when in actuality it is foe. It has infiltrated our public schools. It has lied to us. It has caused us to hate who we are. It's caused us to believe that we are not as good as men. That our innate attributes, our ability to create life, our ability to mold the next generation through the rearing of children, that our ability to be compassionate, that all the things that make us uniquely beautiful and strong and fearfully and wonderfully made, that those things are not only bad, but that we should fight those things. That those things are not only unbecoming, but that they should be annihilated altogether. Because the real power is in the masculine. The real power is the ability to go to a job for 60 to 80 hours a week, work for another man's husband, forego our biological and evolutionary drive to create life, postpone that, and instead spend most of our young adult lives chasing after a piece of paper that says that we're smart enough. And who knows, once we get that piece of paper, it's a competitive job force. We may get the job we want. You know what? We may end up hating that job. But regardless, it's what it tells us to do. No other option. That's the option. It tells us to finish high school, go to college, get that degree, then go on and get your master's, get your doctorate, finish first in your class, work at a job where you have no time to procreate. You have no time to carry a child. Because you know what? That ain't so special after all. That ability that you have, that magic wizard power to make people, it's kind of an inconvenience actually. This ideology tells us that not only is that not the most beautiful thing on the face of the planet, it's an inconvenience. And you know, if we don't have the right to kill that child when it gets in the way of what this ideology tells us is important, money, power, a career, more stuff, get rid of it. Kill that baby. Doesn't make you any less of a woman. It makes you more of a woman. You didn't have your abortion this month? Girl, you best go get one. Because you ain't a woman till you had one. I judge an ideology by the way, once it possesses the human mind, it causes people to act. And feminism is no friend of women. If you have a relationship with a man in your life, a husband, a son, a father, that's a beautiful thing. I have a son. An ideology that tells me that his masculinity, the same beautiful things that God put inside of me, but the reverse, the masculine inside my son, is toxic. An ideology that tells me that regardless of an individual's merit, an individual's trustworthiness, or the absence of evidence, that simply by speaking words over somebody, that you can assassinate their character in the public sphere. An ideology that says that, that's an ideology that's an enemy to my son. And that's an ideology that's an enemy to me and every other woman who is strong enough to comprehend the fact that in this country, men and women are equal. I vote the same way my husband does. We both cast our votes. My husband works a job that frankly I wouldn't want to work, because he works in the hot sun. He makes damn good money doing it. And he takes care of his family. It's a lot of responsibility he puts on his shoulders. To all my girls out there, especially my younger friends, you do what you love as an individual. We have been lied to our whole lives. We've been told that to be a mother and to be a wife and to not chase a career makes us weak. If you want to be a lawyer, honey, that's what I want for you. If you want to be a doctor, girl, go save those lives. But if you want to be a mama and you want that to be your only job, that is more than okay. And don't let anybody tell you that it's not. This is coming from someone who's lived in both worlds. I spent the majority of my young adult life chasing 2 degrees. 2 degrees to make me feel like this piece of paper is going to tell me I'm smart enough, so that I could make a little bit more money, so that we could get a little bit bigger car, so that I can have the outfit that she has or buy those Jimmy Choos. Did it for a lot of years. I worked for a lot of very large corporations, and I was good at what I did. I worked in marketing. I was a copywriter. And then my husband and I sat down and decided that we wanted a family. And that was the decision that I made. I made the decision to be a stay-at-home mom and a wife. And just because I don't bring home the money, just because that particular responsibility is on my husband's shoulders, does not discount my contribution to this family. Never once, not one time, have I regretted that decision. Never once have I felt that I might be missing out on something. Because I got to see my baby boy take his first steps. I got to see him smile for the first time. I got to see him read for the first time. The kid was reading at 3, can I say? The point is, I've been in both situations. And I have missed out on nothing by being a mom and a wife. If an ideology tells you that who you are innately is not good enough, that masculine attributes are the only thing that will make you good enough, that's a lie. Because you're good enough already. You know how I know that? Because God doesn't make mistakes. I'm not a mistake. And every one of you girls watching this, you're not a mistake. You are fearfully and wonderfully made by a God who gifted you with unique talents and gifts. Every single one of you. And you can do whatever you want to do. If you work hard enough, you can do whatever you want to do. But if there's that part of your heart that tells you that you want to be a mama, please don't wait. Don't believe the lie that you can have it all. To have your career first, and then maybe worry about the children. Then maybe worry about a baby. Because it gets harder when you get older. I'm just saying. I have one son. We've tried for 7 years for a second. It does get harder. Follow your heart and don't listen to an ideology that tells you that the very people that God created to complete us and for us to complete, men and women, don't let an ideology tell you that we are enemies, because we're not. Men are not our enemies. Feminism is the enemy. And you are good enough. I love y'all.